Hello, how are you? We hope you are doing very well. The video you've seen is a short film that brings together moments from all the finalists and winning projects of the last prize edition, which was created especially for the launch of this 2020 edition by the architect and video artist Davide Rapp, who was one of the members of the jury in 2018. With these images, we welcome you all here today, live, to attend the winner's announcement of the Living Places Simon Architecture Prize 2020. Anupama Kundu, the president of the jury on this third edition, is going to be here with us to make this announcement and after it to get into a conversation with the winners. We want to invite you all to participate and send us your comments and questions over the prize Instagram, which is @Simon_prize, and also via YouTube open chat. First of all, it's my pleasure to say hello to Nathalie Naval, Corporate Branding Communication Manager and soul of this prize. Nathalie, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Anna. Good evening, and thank you to be here tonight with us. It's a great pleasure for Simon to be here today to announce you the winners of the Living Places Simon Architecture Prize 2020. First of all, we would like to thank all the participants in this third edition. Thanks to all of you, the award is growing year after year. This is a third edition of a project that began in 2016, the year of Simon's centenary, a project created and built together with the Mies van der Rohe Foundation. There are a lot of architecture prizes in the world, and many recognize excellence in architecture. But we wanted to consolidate this prize by recognizing those works that strengthen the adaptability of spaces to achieve the well-being of its inhabitants. Architecture which turns into quality places for people's everyday life. The focus on the inhabitants is reflected in the prize methodology. The video considers it to be an instrument to bring architecture closer to the public in general and to convey the atmosphere of the place is the main document to be submitted. In 2018, we celebrated the second edition in which we expanded the award from Europe to Mexico. And last May, we launched the open call for entries. And now we are here today, happy to share with you the result with 140 submitted works from 23 different countries. 79 of these works have been presented within the collective place category, 61 in the category of personal places. And 2 weeks ago, we announced the 10 finalist works that our international jury applauded. And today, from these 10, we are going to know the winners for each one of the 2 categories. So, congratulations to all of you. We also wish to express our most sincere gratitude to our jury members who have passionately debated during the jury sessions held on October. Isn't it, Anna?
Yes, it is, Nathalie. As you say, on October, the jury meeting was celebrated in 2 online sessions with the members of the jury, an international and multidisciplinary jury formed by 6 professionals. Ana Luisa Soares, a Portuguese architect, co-founder of the young studio Fale Atelier in Porto. Dina Skira, the internationally renowned lighting designer, who maintains that the light is not for architecture, but for the people who live in it. Victor Jaime, a Mexican architect co-founder of Productora, one of the authors of the Teopanzolco Cultural Center in Cuernavaca, winning project of the Collective Places category in the last edition of the prize. Luis Lemoine, the video artist, producer, publisher, and co-founder, together with Ila Beca, of Beca and Lemoine. The New York Times presented them as cult figures in the European architectural world. Salvi Plaja, industrial designer and Simon design director, who has been part of the jury since the first edition of the Living Places Simon Architecture Prize in 2016. And finally, Anupama Kundu, the Indian architect internationally known for her research and experimental work on materials and architecture with low environmental impact. She's one of the most prominent exponents of a new generation of architects concerned with habitat. She has been the chairwoman of this Living Places Simon Architecture Prize 2020, and in a few minutes, she will be here with us. The involvement of the jury members has been highly professional and passionate. All of them made a previous review and studied all the presented works. The images that you've seen correspond to this online jury session with our team located in the Espacio Simón 100 in Barcelona. During the debates, the jury decided 10 finalist works that were published 2 weeks ago. From these 10 projects, today we are going to know one winner for each one of the 2 categories. Now, we would like to name these selected works, a group of works. So, starting with the Collective Places category, these are the 5 chosen projects. Boys and Girls Club in Lomas de Tecámac, in Mexico, by CCA Centro de Colaboración Arquitectónica, Bernardo Quinzaños and Ignacio Urquiza, with a video by Jaime Navarro. Cansao, Emergency Scenery in Olot, Spain, by Un Parell d'Arquitectes, with a video by Martí Pellicer and Un Parell d'Arquitectes. Department of Radio and Television, University of Silesia, in Katowice, in Poland, by Bas Arquitectura, Group of 5 Architecting, Mauricio Bureau Proyectoa, with a video by Droneland. La Borda, in Barcelona, Spain, by La Col, with a video by La Col La Borda. And finally, in this category, Jojutla Central Gardens in Jojutla, Mexico, by Estudio MMX, with a video by Filmática Juan Benavides. And the 5 finalist works in the Personal Places category are La Nave in Madrid, Spain, by Nomos, with a video by the same studio, Nomos. A Place to Perceive in Ixtoacán de los Membrillos, Mexico, by Emo plus G Taller de Arquitectura, with a video by Alejandro del Castillo. Casa Cruce in Barcelona, Spain, by Cierto Studio, with a video directed by Bernal Lliteras. Casa Ter in the area of the Baix Empordà, Spain, by Masura, with a video by Ricard López. And finally, House in the Woods in Nuevo León, Mexico, by Weyes Studio, with a video by the same office, Weyes Studio. Congratulations to all the finalists. And now we are going to know some of the values and qualities that the jury appreciated about each one of these works. In the following video, we are going to listen to the jury members talking about them. So let's find more about it.
With La Borda, I mean, as soon as you see the image of the building, it is already differentiated because it has a very strong social impact. This is the project that tried to accommodate not only the basic living necessities, but it also gave that really warm and social benefit for people that will live there.
It talks about housing, but the common areas mainly of the housing project.
In this particular building, I think that interaction is, enhanced.
The video really showed the common living of the common areas. It's a perfect example of, without the video, we wouldn't feel so much the living aspect of the project itself.
I feel this like a super massive effort to take place in the middle of the unprivileged neighborhood, fostering the community integration. Its multiple program involves many different kinds of activities, such as education, arts, and sports, merging in a simple organic gesture.
With almost minimum resources, opened a lot of possibilities of uses. a lot of different spaces and places to be lived. And the video also showed very interesting aspects from the empty space and the possibility of how it could be used, and then also some images explaining how it was actually used by the children.
It's a very refreshing approach to a partly demolished building in which, through geometry and clarity of structural elements,
The design explores new programming and urban possibilities and encourages the community for the using of public space through social activities.
This project showed a different way of bringing a ruin back to the city, and using this idea of ruin as a project.
it's an example of how a single project can actually add to the city.
Probably I will define it as a humanistic architectural innovation.
A very refined piece of architecture. There are very subtle decisions made for the building to blend in. It's a building that would enrich its context. Its presence would be felt by everybody who are around the area, because it's always going to be uplifting, and it acts, it will leave a legacy for the future.
These gardens are part of a series of buildings which were raised after the earthquake. This memorial was conceived not only as a garden, its flexibility could also allow it to work as a forum, as a market on a weekend, or just as a pavilion placed on the main plaza. Its geometrical complexity explores with traditional materials and construction techniques. This single gesture displays a game of moving shapes that work like shelter to hide from the intense sun rays.
It's a very good example of how a house merges into its context.
From the inside to the outside, but also from the outside to the inside. So the relation between both, it's not completely open, it's controlled. So the moments where there's an outside relation are very carefully designed.
It's a very beautiful project, very subtle and very delicate, which conveys a real sense of harmony also with the surrounding nature and landscape.
The humanistic values behind this house are probably the values that we need for a better future.
Representing the tranquility.
A beautiful piece of landscape merged with the trees in the top of the hill becomes part of the scenario, a very modest piece of architecture.
And plus the beauty of the materials and the attention to detail.
A stable and a house makes a bond between horses and men, where an interesting game of skills matches with topography.
We had a lot of projects that talk about the living places, not just from the inside, but also the relation with the outside. Was one of those who also from the video explored this relation between the different spaces and how they relate with the trees, almost like growing around the trees or in between the trees. One interesting thing about the videos, they bring the fourth dimension of movement. It really shows other aspects that you cannot see if you don't visit or if you don't have this temporal dimension into explaining the projects.
The geometry changes direction, merging with the structural system of an old building that incorporates the corridor, activating along all the facade as a very powerful and illuminated space.
What we really appreciated is the very unconventional way in which the elements of the previous building have been retained and allowed a kind of new colonization on the residential scale.
The project Casa Cruce was probably one of the ones with the best video. In the sense, not only the way it was filmed, but also the way how it showed the project, how it explained the project.
I had a real pleasure in discovering the film. It's really wonderful. It's so witty, funny, and so well done.
And finally, Brit cuisine.
So I really enjoy the humor.
Wait, is that a pizza?
Which is very rare. I mean, in architectural films, it's very rare.
As a project, it also talked about how a simple intervention can make a project very interesting.
Congratulations again to all the finalists. And now it is time to know the winners. And we will start with the winning work in the category of collective places. So let's listen to Anupama Kundu, the president of the jury, who is going to let us know. So Anupama, whenever you want.
So, hello everybody. I know you're anxiously waiting to know. In the category of collective places, we unanimously agreed on Kansao, emergency scenery, as the winner. I really want to congratulate the team of authors of this project, Unparalleled Architects, and also Marti Pellicer for its video. The jury considered this project as a unique and memorable approach on how to regenerate old parts of the city, and it's an example of how a single project can add considerable value to the urban space. The project explores new programming and urban possibilities, encouraging the community to use public space for social activities. The jury appreciated the clarity of this design intervention, a very refreshing approach to partly demolishing a building, enriched through geometry and the clarity of structural elements. We also particularly highlighted the simplicity and the accuracy of the lighting design. 3 globes in each of the arches that give a perfectly diffused, well-distributed light. Regarding the video, the jury appreciated the use of simple elements and techniques to create a parallel narrative based on the 3 volts that make up the project and the involvement of the neighbors by acting on it as a type of participative action. And finally, we appreciated the refinement with every further decision that followed. So it was indeed a very memorable project. Congratulations to the team.
Thank you very much, Anupama, and congratulations to the winners, Un Parell d'Arquitectes, for this Kansao emergency scenery. We want to know more about it, so let's see the film that the authors presented in this Living Places Simon Architecture Prize 2020. Congratulations to the authors for this beautiful project and film, winner of the 2020 Collective Places category. And now it's time to know the Personal Places winner. So, Anupama, whenever you like.
Well, in the category of personal places, the jury decided on Casa Ter as the winner. I congratulate the authors of this project, Mesura, and also to Salva Lopez for its video. The jury considered that Casa Ter is a very subtle and delicate project which conveys a real sense of harmony with the surrounding context, the nature and landscape. The film actively contributes to portraying that feeling, creating a genuinely sensorial journey through the spaces. It allows us to get a real sense of the place in both its physical as well as atmospheric qualities. All the construction details that are carefully imagined and articulated through a very detailed thinking was also very appreciated as being very appropriate to the region and incorporating sustainability criteria. The relationship that the house establishes between the inside and outside is precisely and accurately thought and designed. So we found this to be a very remarkable project. Congratulations.
Thank you, Anupama, and congratulations to the winners in this Personal Places category. Now, let's know more about this project through the film that the authors presented to this Living Places 2020. Congratulations to Mazura and to Ricard Lopez for this wonderful project and film. During the jury sessions, the members of the jury awarded one winner for each category, but they also decided to consider a special mention. The president of the jury is going to tell us more about it. Anupama, please.
The jury decided to consider a special mention to award the qualities of the filmmaking of the Institute for Molecular Sciences in Orsay in an effort to defend how much cinema can bring to the representation and the portrayal and the knowledge of architecture, far from being just a tool of communication and promotion. The film is really beautiful. It is delicate and suggestive. It creates a certain captivating and surrealist atmosphere, which evokes the mystery of scientific research enclosed within long and silent corridors. The film is an achievement in itself, and the jury would like to congratulate the filmmakers Romain Loiseau, I hope I'm pronouncing it nearly correctly, and Tristan Soro, and Khan Architekten and Fres Architects.
Thank you very much, Anupama, and congratulations to the team for this special mention. So now let's see this film called To Become One. What an incredible film. Congratulations to Romain Loiseau and Tristan Soro for the film, and to Can Architecten and Fries Architects for this project. And congratulations to the winners, all the winners that we have here today with us to get into a conversation with our president of the jury, Anupama Kundu. So let me introduce you, Eduard Callis and Guillem Molinet, the team of Un Parell d'Arquitectes, authors of Cansao, Emergency Scenery, winner of this 2020 Collective Places category. I would like to read you a statement made by them. We build radiant scenes capable of activating the activity, of narrating a new story that is attentive to real life, and of building an atmosphere according to its characteristics of a space, symbolism, materiality, and light. Good evening, Guillem, Eduard. How are you doing?
Good evening. Really happy now. We are really happy to have to receiving this award, and we want to thank obviously to the jury, all the jury members, to Anupama that it's now with us, to Simon for organizing these special awards with this strong point of view in living places, and obviously to Mies van der Rohe Foundation for this excellent organization.
Thank you very much, Eduard. It's a pleasure to have you all here. And I'm going to present you also Masura, the team of Masura, authors of Casa Ter, winner of the 2020 Personal Places category. They have made their own claim, that is, to design for the unknown. And also they declare, each of our spaces is the result of our ability to listen, which has turned our designs on buildings into personal reflections of our clients' personalities and values, which we construct through research, workshops, and surveys. Good evening to the entire Masura team. Benjamin Iborra is one of the studio partners. Benjamin, how are you doing?
Hi, hello. Hello to everyone. I'm here with all the Masura team. Part of the Masura team is behind me. And we would like to thank you to the Simon Prizes for this wonderful award. And we are very honored and happy to receive this award. And we are also very honored after seeing all this very good architecture that there is in these prizes. Also to congratulate Un Parell d'Arquitectes, which we are a fan of their work. So it's a pleasure and an honor to be here tonight.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. It's a pleasure also to have you all family here with us. And now we are very happy and grateful to have with us Anupama Kundu, the president of the jury, who is going to have a conversation with the winners. But before to let you begin, let me remind you that you can send comments and questions for our guests via YouTube or Instagram. And at the end of the session, we will pass them on. And now, yes, Anupama, the stage is yours.
Well, what a wonderful honor to be connected and have the opportunity to talk even from a distance, to you about your process. I think we've seen the outcome, and it's really a fantastic opportunity for us to listen more, to get into your mind a little bit. So I'm very happy to that I thank the Simone Group for facilitating this kind of conversation. I think it's really, really even more interesting than the projects we saw. I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy this conversation. My first question would be, to ask your own reflection on the word living places in the first place, because we have seen a lot of excellent and iconic architecture being celebrated. It's a very personal question from my side, where I have, coming from other parts of the world, I've seen in the post-industrialized celebration of architecture in the developed countries that it has often become so much about the external architecture itself. It's about the form, it's about how much it sticks out, how it looks in a rendering. It looks, of course, all of that has to be solved. But what I liked about the Simone Price description was the fact that it put the attention and the focus of architecture back on the people. When you say living, it's the people who will make it living. And also the architecture, even the materiality of architecture becomes living, a living place, because the humans interacted with the matter somehow and assembled it in some way or another way. So before, I mean, I was very curious, even though the jury spoke a lot about these qualities and criteria, I would like to use your presence to explain to the audience, maybe, how would you explain your project fitting in this kind of focus area of living places, and what is architecture for you? How would you describe even architecture and then of course your project in terms of the life that it's meant to support, you know, like going back to the goal of architecture somehow?
Mhm. Thank you, Anupama. In fact, we think that architecture is about living places, and that's all. We cannot understand architecture without people, and we think architects should learn to read, to listen, as was saying Jamin, and lays the foundation for social relationships. In our office, we are very happy to receive this award, because in our office, living places is a constant topic, and we developed it into concepts that are infrastructure and scenography and changing rooms. And in fact, this project can solve, that's called infrastructure scenery, refers to two simultaneous characteristics of the architecture. By one hand, the infrastructure is structure, is construction, is organizational pattern, and also is the project of the time and the capacity for adaptation. But at the same time, the scenography talks about character, about symbology, about atmosphere, and that's it what transforms a space into a place, a living place. So in this case, in Cansao, we think there is a kind of basic appropriation that is transform an abandoned plot to a square, and this is the main use of this facade. But also there is a kind of personal or symbolic appropriation that everyone reads in this facade a thing depending on their own experiences. No, old people, for example, can from there with the intervention of the visual artist kingdom, all the ancient artisans and shops that were placed in this area of the town. And other people see a kind of ruins. Someone has told us about a kind of a belvedere in a romantic garden. I think it's nice to see, depending on the people, there is different appropriations of the place.
Thank you. I think it would be also, sorry, you would like to add?
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with how important it is to think the spaces through the living people that are going to be there. In fact, Mesura, we were born in a recession, in a strong recession, and for us, this gave us we believe that change is an opportunity, and one of the values that we like to keep is this way of thinking architecture from the interior, not from the facade, but how do you live the interior? And we were starting to do a lot of interior architecture, and that gave us this perspective of thinking through the interior to the exterior and thinking more in how people are in these spaces. And also we believe, I talk in the name of the office, in this project in Casa Ter, we believe that the way of having this to accomplish this way of living that the client asked us, he really wanted to be part of the place, And we believe we could accomplish this character of the space, of the atmosphere, interior atmosphere, by looking in the traditional way that they were construction in the place, and by understanding the traditional way of construction, but with new techniques, with new ways of living, that could give like a combination that is the result of Casa Ter in terms of how to live the space.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, I think it's really nice to understand what also these words mean for you as a studio. I think what I would like to do now is I would maybe we ask a couple more questions for Kansao to understand, and then we move to Casa Ter so that there will be more continuity in the projects and questions. So I would like to ask Edward a few more things. Can you, because it's, I mean, when we look at your project and we looked at how strongly the past is sort of, you had to deal with heritage, you have to deal with legacy, and you had to deal with the role of an old architecture that existed and had a certain impact, but architecture always outlives the people, so it has a different meaning sometimes in another contemporary situation. So how did you go about, or what are your ideas about the coexistence of past, present, and future, and architecture's role in negotiating the aspect of time? And what did you choose to keep, change? You know, can you tell us something about how you dealt with the heritage aspect?
Of course. For us, it was very important to consider that the final facade was the addition of a new layer to the existing ones, as a recognition that the compact city, in fact, is an accumulation of different layers and a constant transformation of it. So it would have no sense to build, for example, a new facade and hide all the domestic marks on the party wall, or even those 4 buttresses in concrete that they are there. This is the reality. So it was nice for us, and obviously, although a practical position in terms of economics, to work with the ingredients we have there and to complete them. In the fact that at final we have a kind of construction that gets all the things or put together all the layers that have been there during years. And also there is, in front of the facade, there is a blinded door of the 15th century, from the 15th century of the church of the patron saint of Lot. So this new facade, or this new square, is between the blinded door of this church that now has the entrance in another street, and this facade made of the parts of ruined buildings and new additions. So it's important because you can read what has happened in the place, and you can read, for example, that the fabric of this old part of the town is made basically of dwellings. You can read these kind of transformations that we have suffered in the last 20th century and beginnings of 21, and new wishes for the next years for this area.
Well, yes, very interesting to hear. And also that brings me to another question, which is about the old to the new. It's the materiality that you have to deal with when you have to bridge a historic structure to not only today's technologies, but also to the future, to be, as architects, kind of pushing the envelope. So how, I mean, we've, as a personally, as a lover of brick and ceramics myself, because it's the oldest manufactured material, I really would like to hear from you. I have done myself a lot of explorations. And I think it's very interesting also in the Spanish context and, you know, the heritage one has with this material in general, whether it is for tiles, bricks. So there is, how did you all approach this ceramic in the context of old and new? You know, it's such a, you know, the facade shows the materiality as well. So I would like to hear some insights.
Yes, here we had several contradictions because we are used in our context that in these historical areas there is a kind of regulated colors. All facades should be plastered with silk mortars and materials like that. This is very regulated, and it's usually to use like this. In this case, the condition of emergency was that it should be done fast and cheap, because if not, it would be this kind of abandoned plot during decades. So for us, the ceramic was a common material. All of these buildings are made of ceramic tiles. In this case, it's hollow brick, that it's more modern. It was a kind of material appropriated to build walls, but also to build the walls. So structurally, it worked for each situation. And obviously, it has a condition that allows to employ local workers because it's made by hand, one layer by one layer. And it also, it's difficult nowadays to find, for example, a worker that knows how to build a vault. And each project that we introduce a vault, it's an opportunity that an old builder explains to a younger one how prepare the wooden structures, how to build a vault. So in fact, it was nice also related to the profession of the workers and to see how they learn. No? They were fast in the third vault, and they start very slow with the first, no? Because they built the last vault perhaps 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think this is very interesting that you bring this aspect of skill alongside the material, which when you make a material choice today and when you have to build heritage buildings, I think it's not so much discussed what the challenges are in terms of the manpower or the capacities to deal with the material, which our history shows that we have used it very well. But in today's time, we feel suddenly like as if it's a problem. And most people tell us that this and that cannot be done because actually it cannot be, not only can it be done, but it has been done. And the proof is all around us, but it's our regulations and habits even that sometimes makes it difficult. So it's very courageous to embark on it and to really pull it through. So yeah, I was wondering also the choice of material comes together with it is of course the form, and you spoke yourself about the vault, the form of the vault. And I wanted to ask you a little bit to explain about the impact of that geometry, because you have used it in a very strong way to simplify the public's understanding of that building by taking the sectional profile as a elevation, as the identity of the building. But also I was wondering in terms of, there was some mention about going beyond the passive house and the vaults, because roofs in the end also mediate between the indoor and the outdoor and the climatic impact. Is there something there you could tell the audience that is interesting?
Well, here, in fact, in climatic terms, the unique reason is to provide a kind of shelter. We were interested in a porous and deep structure, deep facade, not a flat one, attached to the existing party wall. Using these buttresses allowed us to make this this facade that is really between 3 and 2 meters depth. And this is porous, and with the help of the stands, allow people to refuge from the rain when it rains, or to sit and play the guitar. There is a person who plays the guitar every evening there, so the balls reverberate the sound of the guitar. So it was important for us to have a ceiling, and as you said, it could be obviously a flat top, but the 3 balls also relates this construction to the next church that is also made with, in this case, is a main vault and transversal little balls.
Nice. I think that's all the questions from my side. I just wanted to close by asking you to tell us anything else that you would like to tell the people about having won this prize, or if there's something, you know, that people don't get to hear about in the publications. If there's something about, you know, what were the unique challenges, or what are you particularly proud of? Any little stories there, whatever you like to share.
Well, we are happy about how the people received this little operation, because the first month of having finished the works, there was an association, a local association, that decided that this space would be their outdoor room for celebrating dinners and concerts. So in 1 month, it was appropriated by an association, and it was very nice. And then the next autumn was the place for a kind of festival that it's played in the town, that's called Uerni, about lighting. And this was the main point of this festival. So it's nice to see how there is a personal appropriation, but also a community appropriation for this association. And this is very nice for us. We think in these cases are really the facades who take the responsibility to shape the street, because obviously the traditional urbanization project focuses on the pavement, and what's important is this mixture between public and private, between homes and public space, that contribute to build the environment that gives sense to our cities.
Yeah, I mean, it was really nice to hear you firsthand. So it's quite memorable that I can talk to you directly, and I look forward, hopefully, to continuing when we meet in person, whenever travel allows. And also, I would love to see the project myself.
Of course.
So congratulations. And I wish you all the best, and congratulations to all the people behind the scene in your office who have contributed. I'm sure everyone's proud now. So please convey our best wishes.
Thank you very much, Anupama. We are really happy. We would be pleased to receive you in Olot and to meet in person, of course. And well, as we said, we are happy because the topics of this award, we think, are the strong values behind architecture. So we are extremely happy to be awarded. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
then I will continue. Benjamin spoke a little bit, and I will move the questions there, and we will be all here still, and we will surely wrap up all together. But I'll just move on to discussing a few questions regarding Casa Ter. Yeah. So thanks, Eduard. Thanks so much. Okay, Benjamin, you began to speak about how you work inside out, and how living places is interpreted by your team as starting from the inside life of the people for whom the houses are built. I think you also mentioned this point about traditional materials and reinterpreting that to be context appropriate. You know, you just mentioned, and I didn't continue the discussion because I thought it's better to go into one project fully and then go into yours. So yeah, I think it's a similar conversation we had, but I mean, those kind of questions that Eduard discussed applied to the collective scale. I think it's very interesting what are the innovations that you've been working with on a residential scale?
Yeah, well, I was really like listening like to Eduard and this conversation about the bolts, because in fact we have this. We also could have the chance to do like a bolt in this project, actually made with the traditional way of construction, like the traditional volta catalana that we called, and for us also as we claim ourselves as designing for the unknown. For us, also, we like to understand each project as an opportunity and to learn also, and to learn from local constructors. And as we like to understand where we're working, and our site was slightly like close to Eduard and Guillem's project, we really wanted to work with the local people that really knew the techniques. And also I really like this idea of I'm pretty sure I didn't get to know this, that there was people in the site that got to know this technique, so it's passed on. So I really love these thoughts that Eduard had. And for us, what is important is to understand the way it was constructed, because at the end, if it's been like this for centuries, it's because it has a meaning, a strong meaning that has relied since years. But we would like to adapt it, as I said before, to what the project is demanding and to the actual way of living. And in these terms, I will put also the example of the vault, of the Catalan vault. The site has a very, very strong connection with nature and has like many amazing different points of view if you know where to put yourself. So the person that now live in the house, they were really keen on having the possibility of seeing Las Illas Medas, which is in the seaside, like these beautiful and amazing islands. And before starting the construction, we were with these stairs and we were like moving around the site to see where was the possibility to see this. So we spotted the right site on the land where we could see it, and we saw that we could only see it if we went one level up. So at the end, because it's a project that we like it to feel like very settled down in the landscape. So in the beginning, we felt like it should be like just a one-plant building, one-story building. But because of this, because we needed to go up, because the client wanted to have a space that could look to these islands, we felt that we wanted to make this upper level in a gentle way also. So that's why the vault feels it's coming up from this first ground. And what is innovative in a way is the form that the vault has, because it's like quite like a not unusual shape. And it comes because at the end, we were having the ground floor and we wanted to make it go tangent, so it felt smooth. Then we took the local regulation was really well done and really careful, and they have like a really high restrictions. So we went to the higher point, and then with this 6x6 module that we had in the house, in order not to work with big structures, so it suited to the budget we had. If you do the intersection of a perfect arc of a circle, and we go tangent and we go to the 6 meters, that's the form that we have of this vault. So this is what we really like to, when we say that, we like to go further on from the traditional way of construction and adapt it to new spaces that have character, and very important, they adapt to what the client is demanding.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. I didn't realize until just now that these volts and ceramics and all those uh, things that we have discussed so far are kind of a common ground between all of us in our work. I mean, it's very interesting to see that both the winning projects, we have some common themes which I hadn't noticed until now. And I think it's very interesting. And also when you speak about, traditional, acknowledging traditional culture, building cultures, but adding to it through your own research. So, do you think that having done this project, there is something that could be relevant for that area, even though it was specifically developed for the client? Do you feel that there is some? I mean, we did notice in your project, that there were very subtle innovations, or there was some approach, or there was a material research which we did notice. And do you think that, I mean, sometimes costs and other concerns also drive innovation, but what were mainly your driving points, and what could be the further applications of those, being like given sustainability and other
Well,
aspects?
sustainability for us is an important point, and for all the people that in architecture we are passionate, like I think it's something we need to work on, and we believe that each project has its own way of being sustainable. Each project has a specific demanding, and in this case, apart from like doing the what we call like the classical like passive strategies, which mean to really understand that the south facade needs a shade, or that this house needs like a good ventilation. Apart from this, like very old like ways of construction, like what we felt it was going to be like sustainable is to work not only with local builders but with local materials. And in a way, this is what drive us to all this materiality, and what we call it at the end, we call it this. We like to work with the concept of genius loci. Genius loci at the end is a Roman concept. Is the spirit, talks about the spirit of the place, and taking this to architecture. And in our times, it's about understanding the place, no. So what we did at the end was to say, okay, in this area of La Bisbal, like ceramic is like the big tradition in many ways, in little ceramic pieces, in constructed bricks, in many ways that we can understand ceramic. So we took the decision from the beginning to work with this local material, and from there we gave it like all the complexity that we thought that the project needed, and with the same like ceramic tile, we could do the pavement in the only point that we believe the house needs to break the connection between interior and exterior. It's the same tile that makes this Catalan vault in a traditional way. And it's the same tile that is on the facade. And at the end, what is given, because the facade is made of a rendering that's made with local stones from the River Ter, but we put this in a horizontal way so that you could do the rendering in a logical way. It also makes the connection between the facade and the windows, and also is given a sustainability feature in the terms that this little shade that it's doing to the facade is making this wall working better in terms of thermical aspects. So when it's, because at the end we're working in a very hot climate in summer, so all these decisions makes at the end that the house doesn't have like a it has heating, but it doesn't have refrigerating air. I don't know how you call it.
Yeah,
because these are
yeah, it's like a going back to the future kind of concepts to, today a lot of the heating, cooling systems are requiring a very little adaptation from the human, and it's only done by the machine. And I think it's refreshing to look at how have we managed with this all these years before this everything was automated, and how humans have adapted to their climates. And architecture did a lot of the adapting, right? Along with clothes, like which we wear different things for summer and winter. But nowadays, buildings are often standard throughout the seasons, and it's the machines that are supposed to do the regulating. So it's very interesting for me to have seen your house also from that point of view. And what did you actually mean? I heard the reference from your team about this being a kilometer zero house. What did you mean? Or did I?
Yeah. No, I think this goes again of this thing about working with local materials. Like
Okay.
the thing is like we had this thing about the budget. Like we really like to understand the budget that the clients has since the beginning, and at the end, having one budget or another one, it doesn't mean to have different kind of finishes. It's like having strategies from the beginning. So that's why we were working in a modulation that was 6 per 6 meters, so that we never have like a strong structure elements. We also, one of the main decisions of the house is this L house was to be in the more flat part of the site. So we were making two things. We were making it cheaper, but also the project was being less aggressive with the natural landscape. But at the end, like a kilometer zero is like working. Of course, there are some elements that are not kilometer zero. It's like the concept, but mainly is this like bringing the materials from the local area.
Okay, got it. So it was more about, yeah, the zero is like to be present as close to the site as possible, right? I wanted to also ask you if there is something else, I mean, what I get the sense of is that the affordability strategies were very much part of the technological decisions, right? I mean, to be able to have sustainability in an affordable way, is that where the innovation can be considered to be driven from?
Yeah, I think that's one of the ways like innovation in this house. I think that the other way that we believe this house could be innovative as a word is I think it adapts to new ways of life. In a like using an old construction way of doing it, or like the local way, but in a totally different way. Like if you see the building, like it's not the same as the old buildings that are there, but are made with the same values or the same like strategic decisions. But we believe like it's adapted to new ways of life, and that's why its form it's different, and its materiality is also different.
Great. Okay, so I think that's most of the questions from my side. I want to ask if there's anything you want to wrap up by revealing about the project or the process.
Yeah, but like
The audience who would be happy to hear some personal words.
for sure, like to thank everyone that was involved, because at the end, we sometimes depend on the people that are surrounding us, starting with our team in Zura. Like today I'm speaking, but I'm speaking in the name of all the team, all the people that made it possible. But what is really important in this project is that the client and we architects, we need to in general as a gremio, we need to make clients understand that these values that we were talking about are important. And this client, we had a very strong connection since the beginning, and he was demanding us to have these values in his house. And we're like, okay, we are having the same values, and this for us is very important, and it's not easy to find. So I really would like to remark this special point in this project. And also it's not always easy to also find the right persons to construct this. So a very important thing that we learn is to do a research of local people in every place that you work, and try to work with people that are from there and that have the old knowledge.
I think it's a great point you made, and I think it's nice to close also with this thought, to also acknowledge the patrons of good architecture who come in the form of clients, who also call for a certain level of architecture, that the architects can match and have a raise the bar with the support of the client for having the aspiration so high. So I think it's a good thing. I would like to also thank that kind of sensitized clients who are out there enabling good architecture to happen and backing it with their finances. So yeah, I mean, I would say I think according to the time and questions that I had in mind, I think that's it from my side. But maybe Anna, I don't know how we're doing with time, and if you think the audience may have sent some interesting questions in the chat. And I hand it over to you now.
You're doing very, very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
But actually, we asked to the audience to make questions, but we just have comments. Congratulations to all, and but just to about to close, I would like to do a question myself, and this prize has kind of a special point about the video. I would like to ask both of you, maybe it's you, Benjamin, who can start how you use the video, and also the process of creating this video. It was you and your team, or it was a filmmaker going there, or can you tell us a little bit about this video that you presented?
For sure, and I think it makes sense with this thing about living places. At the end, obviously we need photographs to explain our projects, but it's not the same as seeing movement. And we believe that even though in the video that we have done, there's no people, we like to believe it's a way of explaining the life of the space. And we're having this internal discussion, and also with Ricard Lopez, the filmmaker, that it's a shame not to have people, but if you put people, it's because it's real. It's people that it's really living the space and not some acting. And in this case, the client is really keen on not in having like his privacy. So we decided not to put other people. Like we only wanted the real clients to do real life, but this couldn't this couldn't happen. So we decided that by leaving the actual elements that they have in their actual house would explain their way of living, like not leaving the architecture by itself, but putting the elements that give personality, that the client has given its personality to the place. But for us, it's really important to explain architecture with movement and with video. We believe it's a strong way of doing it.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, when you're talking about elements, the table, we noticed there that it's a really important element in your project. So I'm gonna make the same question to Eduard and Guillem about this video process, and also how because in your case, it's another scale, it's another place, because it's a public space, and also you have there are people in this video. Eduard?
Yes. Yes, for us in the video, there are 3 ingredients that for us were important. One was to talk about the context and the situation that made us think in a facade instead of a pavement. That is all the demolitions that are happening in this historic center, and how they contribute to a loss of urbanity in the street, and disfigurement in the form of the street and the squares. So during all the world tour of these people, all the scenes that appear are ruined buildings. Another thing was talk about this tradition of providing small niches in the facades to put signs, even ephemeral ones that were built in the beginning of the 20th century, that were installed, were placed for a week, for example, in a place like here, making Buden, or even the altar pieces of the Santa Maria to the church. And at the end, all the narration talks about the collective identity and place can suggest, and this historic memory, historic, not written with capital letters, historic of little shops, little artisans, little story of this part of the town. So this is where the people bring these objects that Kim Domena installed in the niches, and they put in this kind of non-religious altarpiece in order to preserve this part of the memory of this part of the city.
Thank you, Eduard. I have a question from the audience now, and I think that we can close the session with this question. We can start with you, Eduard and Guillem, and it's about your current and future projects. Are similar or different to this one in your case, to Cansao, for example?
Well, we have several projects on the desk, but one of the lines we are working now is in more squares in the center of the town. Obviously, there is, for example, any problem with the party walls in these squares, but there is a need to refound the ground floors of this central area, because commercial part of the town has moved into another place. The model of consumption has changed. 50% of the buildings are empty. So these public space projects don't focus on the pavement. They focus on how can we reinvent these ground floors. For example, sponsoring ground floors by an association or in a school of art that can move some sculpture area to abandoned garages in order to provide activity and light and transparency as a guarantee of security and street life. So, well, this is one of the lines that has started with Cansao and it's bringing on. And then obviously we combine this with domestic projects that also share this idea of a changing room, a central common area that articulates all the organization program.
Okay, so you are very busy, and we can say that this Cansao is kind of inaugurating, opening a new kind of doing. Okay, thank you, Eduard. And Benjamin, we would like to know about your current projects and future ones. And
well, actually, since the beginning, like we have done many kind of projects, and that's why one of the meanings why we like to call ourselves like designing for the unknown, because we really do different kind of project, and that's why like the team we have is very like different kind of knowledge to adapt to each project that we have to do. But what is important is like through this project like there's other clients that are asking us to do similar interventions in similar kind of sites and landscape, which for us like it's very like amazing opportunities.
Okay. So I would like to thank you all, to Benjamin, to Eduard and Guillem, and for sure Anupama. Thank you very much. The conversation has been, actually we can continue for 1 hour or two more, but we have to end here. But before leaving, it's my pleasure to invite again to Nathalie Naval to say some words. Thank you, Nathalie.
Okay, then thank you, Ana, and thank you very much to Anupama, Eduardo, Guillem, Benjamin, and all the team of Mesura. I can see a lot of people behind the screen. Then it has been a pleasure to listen to you and learn a lot from your conversation. We want to congratulate the winners, the special mention, the finalists, and all the participants, architects and filmmakers, authors of all these great projects that you can find together with the ones participating in the past edition through simonprize.org. And before concluding, I would like also to emphasize that organizing this 2020 edition has been a challenge, a great challenge that all the team behind this award has develop it with a huge enthusiasm. And thank you also to them. The Living Places Simon Architecture Prize 2020 doesn't end here tonight. Then when the situation allow it, it's our desire to organize a face-to-face event and be able to meet you in person in the coming months. And actually we have just received, and I want to show you the trophies. Here we have. But the artist and industrial designer Andreu Carulla has created especially for the prize, and together with a wonderful also packaging. And this year we have also a wonderful bag with a special story that we will explain on another day. Then this award, I would like to underline that this award is also a platform to hold debates around architecture, living, design, and filmmaking. So we invite you to follow us through our media channels to be informed of the upcoming events. Then thank you again and see you soon.
Thank you very much, Nathalie, and also thank to all of you who are listening and watching us. And just cherry on the top, we leave you with a video that shows the process of creation and production of these beautiful trophies that Nathalie has shown us, the ones that Andreu Carulla has created especially for the Living Places Simon Architecture Prize. Enjoy and see you very soon.
Thank you.